Hello everyone, my name is Ha. I have been teaching English at National Economic Universities for 20 years now. I'm very happy to join the TESOL International Conference 2020. I think this event is very important for all teachers to share teaching experience and learn new things from their colleagues. One of English language skill that must be mastered by any foreign language learner is the ability to speak. Leibniz Noonan 1991 stated that for most people, mastering speaking skill is the single most important aspect of learning a second language. And success is measured in terms of the ability to carry out a conversation in the language. Year 2018 stated that speaking in a foreign language can be influenced by such psychological aspects as anxiety and self-confidence. The students who have high levels of anxiety, worry, fear, or low level of self-confidence in foreign language classes may have difficulties in developing their speaking ability. I have been teaching speaking skill for the first student of advanced program in national economic universities for many years. And in the early stages of learning English in the NEU, students usually face many difficulties. First, they feel bored and uncomfortable in speaking English with teachers and friends in class because they lack vocabulary and have difficulty in pronouncing English. Second, a student rarely use English to communicate both in the classroom and outside the class, and this makes them accustomed to speaking English well. Third, speaking skill learning makes them feel anxious. They may be afraid of making mistakes and being laughed by their friends. After it happens repeatedly, students experience speaking anxiety and lack of self-confidence. So it is important for lecturers to encourage and motivate students to speak English, especially in the classroom. According to Guy and Abraham 2017, listening circles is one of the interesting activities which is very successful in encouraging students to engage more deeply with texts by approaching them from different perspectives. The activity provides students with opportunities to share ideas for free in small groups without having a feeling of being judged in terms of idea or grammatical mistakes. Listening circle has some effects, and one of them is the reduction in social anxiety facilitated by empathic and non-judgmental listening creates a psychologically safe atmosphere. In a safe atmosphere, a speaker is able to engage in deeply introspection. With the mentioned advantage of a listening circle, the researcher decided to carry out an action research in speaking classes by applying listening circle activities in 6 weeks with the aim of evaluating psychological effects of listening circle in improving student speaking competence. The research question is that how does the application of listening circle help to better NEU student speaking competence? Part 2 focuses on the methodology. First, about participation. Participants involved in the study were 60 first-year students of advanced program in semester 2. In National Economic University, advanced program students are invested to study more English classes than conventional major. They study English in the whole first year and then learn majors in English for the rest of the tertiary course. And all of them had an IELTS certificate of 5.5 plus when they entered universities. That means the student had an upper intermediate level of English. They have 4 periods of 60 minutes for speaking and listening per week over a 12-week semester, and 2 periods for each skill. Next, about the instrument. There are 3 stages of the application of listening circle. First, before the application of listening circle, the first instrument is pre-intervention questionnaire and pre-intervention observation. And you can see the content of the questionnaire and observation in Appendix 1. The aim of the questionnaire and observation is aiming to find out the student attitudes to what problem they face in learning speaking skill before listening circle application. Yeah. The teacher wanted to find out how the student participated in speaking class activities, yeah, their opinions about speaking classes. During the application of listening circles, the teacher used weekly observation, yeah, by teacher's checklist. The aim of using checklists is checking student individual work preparation for the group discussion according to their role's requirement in terms of ideas, conforming of job requirement, and find out how actively students participate in the group discussion. That means presentation and active involvement. After the application of listening circle, yeah, the teacher conducted a post-intervention questionnaire, yeah, in order to find out the student attitudes toward learning speaking after the use of listening circle activities and evaluate the effect of using listening circle activity, yeah, in class. Part 3 focuses on data collection and analysis. Yeah, there are 12 weeks, yeah, in the process of listening circle application. Yeah, in the first stage, week number 1, number 2, and number 3, the teacher decided to investigate students' attitudes towards speaking skill through collecting data from observation and pre-intervention questionnaire, aiming to find out the student attitudes to what problems they face in learning speaking skill before listening circles application. Okay, as you can see on the screen, the content of appendix number 1, this is the um, content of the questionnaire. In the pre-intervention questionnaire, the teachers yeah, designed some questions to ask about how much how much the student are interested in speaking English with their classmates and participate in English speaking activity class. How they feel when they speak English with their teachers. How often they participate in English speaking activities. How they feel in some situations. For example, when the teacher asks them a question in front of the class, to speak with a partner or to have a small group discussion. Um, in addition, the teachers wanted to get some information about the way yeah, they want to do in speaking classes. For example, yeah, whether they want to work on their own with a partner, with a small group of 3 or 4 classmates, or with a large group of about 10 classmates, or as a whole class. Um, and next, the teacher wanted to find out some problems they have in speaking classes and what would make them more motivated to participate in English speaking activities. From the observation, the teacher found some evidences of being interested in speaking class, such as students doing their own work, talking privately, keeping silent when being called, unwilling to talk with teachers and friends. And the student did not think of many ideas because they were serious and they didn't have enough time for preparation. From the pre-survey questionnaire, the teacher saw that many students were not interested in working group with friends. They were uncomfortable to speak English with partner and teachers. Many of them agreed that they faced less confidence, speech anxiety, low self-esteem in speaking and listening lessons when they lacked time for preparation. In addition, they were afraid of being judged by linguistic errors or content-based ideas. They have difficulty in expressing words or sentences, lack of vocab, and they were not being used to talking in class. Many previous studies have shown that yeah, the foreign language learners lack confidence, yeah, which is attributed to their lack of speaking practice. For example, Kubo 2009 claimed that the lack of opportunities to practice speaking is one of the main factors that result in lack of confidence in students. And in this way, the teacher wanted to increase the students' confidence in speaking. Um, they should have more opportunities to practice speaking together with their friends. And after searching for the advantages of listening circles activities, the teacher decided to design schedule plan for the innovation. Listening circles as actual activities in speaking lessons, right? In week 4. And what is the listening circle? You can see the content of listening circle in appendix um, uh, 4. Okay, in appendix 4. Yeah, for the schedule plan of a listening circle application, so the teacher had to prepare yeah, some work, for example, group division, video or lecture selection, time durability for listening circle application, and some changes made in weekly speaking and listening schedule, and observation checklist. In week 5 and 6, Yeah, the teacher introduced listening circle activities to the student. That means the overview of listening circle, the aim of the listening circle, the process, the students' role and their jobs, what they have to do yeah, when they prepare their roles, and what they have to do in the discussion. The teacher gave them instruction to how to hold a discussion. And besides, the teacher and learners modeled an listening circle sample to assure that all of the students understood well about what to do. From week 7 to week 12, the teacher implemented listening circle activities. Each class is divided into 5 groups of 4 students, and um, there are 3 classes altogether. About the students' work, yeah, the student will work in groups of 4 and rotate different roles in different circles. um, the teachers gave students a website in which they could find a favorite video or lecture. Yeah, each group yeah, would choose a video or lecture, and then they would introduce the lecture to the whole class and vote which one is was the most favorite. And then at home, they would prepare individual work in a role sheet according to the group's roles assignment. Yeah, the next week, they would bring their home preparation, and they would join student-led group discussions for 60 minutes in class. Um, what about the teacher's work? The teachers would provide a channel for students, and you can see the name, some suggest the name for the website in Appendix 5. Um, um, when um, during the class discussion, the teacher would use a checklist to observe the students' attitudes, participation during group discussion, and individual work preparation in their own sheet. Teachers would choose the best group discussion in terms of discussion content, interactive ability, enthusiasm, confidence, work fulfillment, and would let the group model their group work in front of the class after the learners are accustomed to the listening circle activity. And of course, if the students are willing and comfortable, yeah, to present in front of the class. Um, During the discussion in class, the teacher would use an observation checklist, and the content of the observation checklist yeah, was written in Appendix C. The observation checklist was designed according to the following criteria to evaluate the work of the student: home preparation of their tasks, students sharing their findings based on the specific role, students' interaction and participation in the discussion, and levels of confidence in speaking during the discussion. And the result of the observation of the teacher was that in the first 2 meetings, only 50% of the student got the maximum score of 5 points. And the reason was that the student first did listening circle activity, so they were quite unfamiliar with the way of making questions, inactively and timidly engaging in group discussions because of being unconfident to present their ideas. Besides, for the first time, they didn't know how to prepare the ideas for their role. Okay, so they didn't think of many ideas. In the last 4 meetings, 50% of the students get the maximum score of 9 or 10 points, and 30% for the score of 7 and 8 points for better performance in class and home preparation after the first 2 meetings experience gained from their groupmates and teachers. After 12 weeks, the teachers conducted a post-intervention questionnaire, and the aim of this questionnaire was that the teacher wanted to find out the students' attitudes towards learning speaking after the use of listening circle activity and evaluate the effects of using listening circle activity. And the result of the questionnaire were that 80% of the students were interested and willing to join listening circle again because of the psychological effects this activity has brought to them, such as providing a safe space to actively share ideas, feeling free to talk without being judged in groups, learning experience from friends, effective practicing speaking and listening skill, etc. Besides, they got mutual support from groupmates and from teachers. They were ready to join group work, more confident to communicate with partners and teachers, and they could talk in English longer than before. However, 6% of the students were unwilling to join listening circle again because they thought this activity was time consuming, yeah, and they would prefer the use of listening circles every 2 weeks. 14% of the students didn't like listening circle much because they thought the activity was difficult and time consuming. Okay? And on the screen, you can see the overall result. Yeah, this is a comparison between the level of interest in speaking English with classmates and participating in speaking activities before application and after application. Before LC application, so you can see that 51% of the students were uninterested in speaking classes. But after LC application, yeah, there was a change in the number of students, yeah, who were uninterested in speaking classes. Now, 68% of the students were interested, yeah, in speaking lessons, right? And only 8% of the students were uninterested, yeah, in speaking. It's about the students' feeling when talking with teachers in English. There was a difference in the number. Before the application, 84% of the students found uncomfortable to communicate with teachers in English. They were afraid of being criticized if they lack ideas or they or they made grammatical errors. But after the use of listening circle, there was a change in the number. Now 68% of the students felt comfortable to talk with teachers in English. They found more natural, they found more confident. The next about preferable ways of doing speaking activities. mm, if yeah, 60% of the student preferred working on their own before the application. Yeah, now, yeah, 65% of the student preferred to work with a small group of 3 or 4 classmates. 10% yeah, wanted to work with a partner. Yeah, 17% yeah, like working with a class group of about 10 classmates. So the result was quite positive. After 6 weeks of applying listening circle activities, the student speaking competence has been built up and confidence has been much improved. Firstly, the students prepared their worksheet very carefully, not only focusing on lecture content, but connecting with the outside world as well. When they had much time for preparation, they were more confident to talk with their partners. Secondly, they actively participated in group discussion in class, feeling free and confident to talk and express ideas. Thirdly, they did not have a feeling of being criticized for making mistakes or being mocked by their friends, and many of them found comfortable to talk with teachers. Yeah, so in short, extra activities were incorporated into the classroom to increase the students' performance in terms of group work and consequently, yeah, their confidence. The results show that instructional methodology strengthening peer collaboration in listening circle activity as a tool for increasing the ability of the student to speak is likely to result in confidence. The findings of the study also suggest that teachers should seek a way to include student collaboration in the subject language as part of their curriculum design to help them gain confidence in speaking English. For the last part of my study, I would like to express my deepest appreciation to the organizing board of the 6th Viet Teso International Convention for an important event in which teachers can share and learn many precious lessons from each other. I also would like to gratefully acknowledge the support that I received from head of the Business English Department and head of Advanced Program NEU who were willing to listen to my sharing about the problems in speaking activities and what to do to improve the student speaking competence. Finally, special thanks are also due to my students who were enthusiastic participants in the activities and I could not fulfill my study without them. Thank you very much for watching.